Cattys. I've come out for an impromptu, well not even impromptu, just come out for a bimble up the woods. But I bought my air rifle with me. Yes, Cattys has got a shooter. It's my poor attempt at Alan Partridge. So yeah, I'm not, shooting any game or anything like that. I've literally got a cardboard target, and I'm going to be having a little plink at that. I haven't actually used this rifle for quite a while, so I thought what I'll do is mix it up a little bit in today's video. I brought out my air rifle. Well, this used to be my son's. It's a broke cock Contour S6. I bought it for him when we were going air rifle shooting. It's a PCP jobber, and locked away in the wardrobe for quite a while. So I thought what I'll do is bring it out and have a little plink with it. I'm not shooting any game or anything like that. Alright, so no animals are going to get harmed in this video. Probably only me really. Yeah, I've got a cardboard target, and I'm just going to set it up and have a little plink. See how I get on with it really. But obviously first got to get a brew on, haven't I? So in the words of Alan Partridge, Cattys has got a shooter. So I've literally got a target, okay, and then just two little pins to obviously pin it up onto something solid, and then we'll set it up, set the range up, and have a little plink to see how we get on. I've shot this for a while. Actually, I haven't done shooting much for a while myself, so it's not bad skills really to you won't use your gap for a while, get it out and have a check of the scope and all that before you attempt to, if you are going to go out and do a little bit of, sort of, especially in this country, shooting pigeons and squirrels and such like, yada yada yada, then it makes sense to obviously a little bit of respect, and obviously a bit of respect for the animal that you're, or the quarry as it were, and also, you want to be in a location where you've got permission to obviously shoot as well. The kettle set. Mrs. C bought this for me for my birthday a little while back. It's a Syriam kettle set. I posted a couple of pictures on Instagram about it, and it's quite surprising the people that come back saying that they're quite an old, well they obviously are quite an old sort of system, aren't they, for making a brew, albeit I mean the kettles are aluminium. But I know some people have an issue of that, but for me I'm literally just using it. It is my sort of my go-to for making a brew in the shed. I've got my transient burner in there at the moment. Now I was using this one. I don't know. I'm going to have a little tinker around with it, but I've sort of tried to unblock the holes because they can get a little bit blocked and all the rest of it. It's not dissimilar to a transient burner. It's kind of just an oversized one, really like a transient burner on steroids. But obviously for in here, ideal. So get a cup of Darjeeling coffee on the go. Right, so what I thought I'd do, just to give this video a bit of length, I thought I'd do a little bit on hobo hand lines, hobo reels, hand lines, whatever you want to call them. Now this is the one that I made some time ago out of a bit of old tube, out of an old tube that my wife had, that had some sort of herbs in it. And basically what I've done was, obviously I just wrapped the line around it, connected a lure with a hook and some sinkers on there just to give it a little bit of weight, and then that just slots in that little pouch on my hip there. Now I've got a couple of others here. This was one that I bought many years ago at the Wilderness Gathering, little hand line, works quite well. And then the other one that I've got, which I think is pretty pants really, which I'm going to sort of I'm going to cannibalise it and take some of the stuff off it. This was made out of a piece of hazel, I think. I basically bored the hole out so to put spare hooks and stuff like that on there, and then I've got some hand line and then some bank line on there as well. The idea of this one was to use it with my hand here, but I didn't really like the idea of trying to pay out the line with this. I find it was a little bit snaggy, okay, as opposed to say that one. Obviously when you reel it out, you might have seen it in the previous one of the videos that I did a little while back. I'll stick a card up, and this one obviously where it's freestanding on the end, it works sweet. Now this one as well, this is just one of the UCO containers. Now I haven't used this at all. Whether do I want to cannibalise it, score that off down there so it's level, or whether or not the fishing line will pay off there, it probably will. But there's another little suggestion. If you have got one of these knocking around spare or something similar and you want to use it, you've got a nice little container there to put all your spare accessories in, and then obviously you can use it to wrap your line round. But what we're going to do is we're going to make one from scratch. Now what we're going to use, or what I'm going to use, is just basically an effervescent tube. This had vitamin C tablets in it. I've literally washed it out, cleaned it all out and everything, and then basically this is just a nice, it's just a nice tube. You can put your line onto it. It's going to freely come off the end there when you cast it, and then you've got all that space in there, accessory space wise in there, if you so want to use it to put spare hooks in and stuff like that. So what I've got in here is just some spare hooks and stuff like that. Some I've got that are slightly bigger than others. I've got some sinkers there. I've got these little whatever they're called, the name escapes me now, the little attachment piece, and I've got some hooks to nylon and that in there as well. Got some fishing line here. This is a £20 fishing line. Okay, you don't want nothing too strong. I mean, for what I'm using it for personally here in the UK, I need to be careful when I'm using it anyway because of fishing laws and stuff like that. But that's the most I'm really going to go up to when using this hand line. Also in here, which I've never used yet, which I purchased one from watching someone, Grey Bearded Greenboy, many moons ago, and that's one of them yo-yo reels, but I haven't actually used that. I would probably only use that in a kind of a survival environment, maybe if I'm on a course, or if you had to use one for real. And then the only other things that I've got in there are some tape, some microcord, and then obviously I've got the Ranger bands on there as well. Like I've got a Ranger band on there, literally just to sort of somewhere just to place where that lure is, literally just to hook that onto, so it doesn't come off and sort of start snagging on my clothes and everything else. So as I said, I'm going to cannibalise this one, so I'm going to transfer the fishing line that's on this one and place it onto that length of tubing. Now what I used here to sort of hold it in place was was like an elastic cuff off a pair of gloves. So if I just cut that off now, take that off. Well, it's actually stuck to the line a little bit there as well, but give that a little bit of an unravel there. I don't think it's going to have much of an effect on the line, if I'm honest. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to get myself a piece of tape. In this case I'm just using a bit of insulating tape, and I'm literally just going to place the fishing line. You know, some people, you can clove itch it and all the rest of it, but you know, sometimes fishing line, you know, it's quite a fiddly little thing, isn't it? So I'm basically going to sort of place the line somewhere here, so obviously then when I feed it out or when I cast it, it's not going to have an issue with you know, snagging on anything. I'd rather have it going off that end than the lid end. So we're just going to take a piece of insulating tape off there. You watch, I'll cut the line now. See, I've got scissors, folks. Right, okay, so let's just place that over the top there. Right. You can also put a knot in the end of it if you so wish. Let's put all the sharp bits away so I don't cut myself, and literally now I'm just going to wrap it round. I mean, how much line you put on it, it's totally up to you. I mean, you know, if you snap the line, lose hooks and everything and stuff like that, then at least you've got spare to you know, recreate another rig, as it were. Doesn't matter a great deal, but it does make sense to kind of have it the end where you're going to cast off, rather than keep running it up and down, but it isn't going to cause that too much of an issue. I'll try and keep it at the one end. I'm basically just going to dispense the whole lot now onto that reel, right, so I'm going to connect that first onto the actual line. For me, I tend to use just a fisherman's knot, double fisherman's or triple fisherman's, if I'm honest. I always find the line a bit fiddly anyway. Fingers and thumbs. Okay. Snip it off. So what I am going to do now, it's still come a bit loose there. When I unravelled it, and I've got a massive, well, not massive, but I've got a bird's nest, so I'll need to unravel it a bit and keep it tight again. I'll come back to you folks because you don't want to see that. What I'm going to do is literally just cut a little tiny piece of tape and put it across the line there to stop it unravelling while I'm working on it. Right, let's put it up there off the line, and in that way it ain't, you know, it frees me up my hands. Okay, so what I'm going to use now as a hooks to nylon, I'm going to use another lure. Okay, I'm now going to attach it to the other end of that. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm using the aid of the vice, and I'm going to put probably 3 or 4 sinkers on here because they're quite light ones. Got all fingers and thumbs this is. I mean, I haven't got the right toolage. I'm literally just going to use a set of needle nose pliers to slide over the line. It's not actually a bad idea to put them in the end of your pliers, slide them onto the line, and then give them a squeeze. Okay, so I've attached 4 of those to the lure, and obviously all I need to do now is just maybe go out and cast it, which I can't do at the moment. What some people like to do as well, they like to put some bank line or bank line or microcord or something like that if they want to make some sort of like lines to put in the water. But this really is just a hobo reel that we know that you can make by hand at home. Okay, now all you anglers out there, please go easy on me. If you do happen to comment, if that's a totally crap rig, then please tell me. I haven't fished a lot in absolute years, and it's a bit of a learning curve for me going back to it again, so you know, I do appreciate your comments, good or bad. So now I've used the Ranger band, I've just slid that on like so. I can now take that tape off, and then just to keep your fish hook tidy and away so it doesn't snag on anything, then it can go in there, and there's basically your line. And then, as I say, you can do whatever you want now, put other accessories in there. You've got a nice little lid that goes on top, nice and light. You know, you can make up a little pouch, maybe like what I've done for my one, and then job's you done. So thank you folks. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share the videos, and I'll see you on the next one folks. Take care.